Hi there, welcome to SketchUp. In this course, we're going to be learning everything that SketchUp has to deal with. So we'll be learning about all the basic commands, how the interface works, how do you move around in SketchUp. We'll be even learning how to create basic furniture, a small scale project, and even a mid-sized project. So if you are an architect, interior designer, or anyone just with the knack of learning 3D modeling or how to even visualize and get your ideas on the screen, then this is the perfect tool for you. SketchUp is one of the most simplified tools for anyone to really learn, and it's actually very beneficial for anyone who wants to even get into the design field to understand how 3D modeling really works. So let's get straight to it. Now, in this section, we're going to be getting into what the interface is about and what all does SketchUp have to offer. So as you guys can see, we have the basic green area over here as well as the blue space on top over here. Now this is basically how the interface of SketchUp looks. As you guys can see, we have three axes over here. We have the blue, the green and the red. These axes basically lets us work in the entire 3D space. So we have the two axes, that's the green and the red, which is the 2D, and the blue axis, which helps us build in 3D. Now over here on the top, you'll see multiple commands. Each of these commands helps us do a certain option. But again, these are just the very basic commands. We will be getting into the larger tool set as and when we proceed. On top over here, you'll see that we have our basic toolbar. So we have the files where we can save, import, open new options. We have the edit to hide, select, unhide, unlock, cut, copy, paste, and all those are the basic options of edit. We have view where we can view different types of works, geometry, the toolbars, the shadows, the fogs. All of these things will become more and more clear as and when we proceed. In the camera, we have different types of angles that we can set or a different way to work with. In draw, we have our draw tools, but we will be using these through our shortcuts. Then we have our tools, the different sets of tools over here. Again, we will be using our shortcuts for all of these tools. Then we have Windows. Windows lets us get into various different settings, editings, properties, 3D warehouse, extensions, and all of that. I will be explaining you guys that as and when we get through as well. Extensions and help. Extensions are basically plugins in SketchUp. SketchUp plugins help us work a little bit faster, and we use certain plugins to create renders such as the V-Ray render engine. Of course, in this course, we'll be learning completely about SketchUp and its basics. You can always join or take up another course which includes multiple plugins or an advanced version of SketchUp, but just by learning this course you will have so much knowledge which deepens you completely and takes you into another level of 3D modeling. Alright guys, let's get straight to it. So the first thing we're going to talk about is how do you really move around in SketchUp. So now for moving around in SketchUp, we have our mouse and we have our keyboard. From the mouse you can see that we can scroll in and scroll out like this to zoom in and zoom out. We can hold the scroll down, so hold the wheel of the mouse down, and we can move up to orbit around. This is basically called orbiting in SketchUp. Now if we want to pan, so we can really just press our scroll down as well as hold the shift button and then move left, up, right and down again. So this is how we will pan. So these three modes, basically the zooming in and zooming out, the scrolling around, the panning, this is called panning, will help us really work in SketchUp in a better way. Now we have the left as well as the right click in our mouse. So the left click will basically let us select a particular object, and the right click will let us get into the properties of that particular object, so which we will be getting into when we start with our basic understanding in our modeling process. Apart from that, in the below tab over here, you will notice that you have the measurements. So measurements are basically the kind of length, distance, angle, or the number of times you want to copy. All of that will come by in the measurements tab over here. So always notice that we have this measurement tab over here. So this is basically how do you move around in SketchUp. I would like you guys to just go around, move around, use these commands. So we'll be the zooming in, zooming out, orbit, pan, and all of that as well. Now the shortcuts of orbit and pan is basically from here, so you can click on this and just use your left click to actually orbit around if you really want a very basic way to do it. And similar for the pan, we can select this and we can pan around. I prefer using the mouse and the keyboard together because it builds efficiency and it makes us work faster rather than continuously changing to the shortcuts, but you guys can use it as you prefer. So this is what we'll be seeing in the introduction, and this is how we'll be actually getting into the understanding of SketchUp. So I'll see you guys in the next topic. Please complete each topic and then enter into the next topic so you guys have a better understanding and you guys will be able to work better as well. Alright guys, take care. I'll see you in the next topic.